Welcome to another G4 Guitar Hangout. My name is David Hart. What we're going to do today is have a look at the new websites and the way that we've got them laid out, go through some of the features and teach you how to make the most of these websites. There's obviously a lot that these websites can do, so we're not going to go through everything today. We'll just go through some of it, and each time what we'll do is we'll do a few more sessions later down the track to try and cover different areas. What I might do today, we've already done a video which I did last week which showed you some of the basic elements of setting up a page and getting in there. So what I might do today is go more into those elements and build out a kind of a different style of page and see, you know, what all the different elements can do, which ones can use. Now I'm going to get these, I've got Ben and Ben here, two Bens, and I'm going to let them ask questions anytime they want and interact, so it's not just me sort of running the whole show here, get some ideas from them what they want to do. So we might sort of go slow in certain areas, but that's the nature of this kind of video. So let's get in, and I'm going to, guys, set up the share screen, and basically what you're going to see when it starts will be Ben Messenger's website for Stockport. So can you guys see that yet?
Yeah, no problems.
Okay, good. All right, so the first thing I will do is log in, and what we'll do is we'll create a new page that we can then use to play around with. So it won't be seen by the general public. It'll just be one site, one page, and then you'll be able to access this later. So after we've played with it today, you'll be able to go into it. Alright, so to create a new page, just to go through quickly, you just over here, click on Add New Page, and here we'll call it, just call it Test Page to make it easy to find. And all I need to do is publish it, and that will create the page. And if you want to go and find your page again later, when you log into your website, just look over to the left hand side, look where it says Pages, click on there, I'll do that now, and you can either scroll down, you won't have many pages yet, and that way you can just scroll down and pick the one that you want. In other words, Test Pages. It's a little bit slow to load because I think it's recording is slowing it a bit down as well. But there we've got the test page there, and if you have a lot of pages and you're trying to find it, you can also search up here. So you can search for a page if you've got a lot of pages. So what I can do there is we're going to use the Thrive Content Builder, and you can access it from here, but I'm going to show you that when you're logged in to your website, and you want to stay logged in all the time if you can, that way whenever you come to it, it'll appear. I'll hit on this view here, and so that's another way to get to it. But what will happen is your page will look like this when it's first made, and at the top you can see you've got your edit features up here where you can go into this Edit Thrive Content Builder. But before we do that, there are some features in the edit window. So on the test page, I'm going to click on Edit, which will take me into the kind of the back end of the page, and in here there are a few features down the bottom here that we want to have a look at, but the only one I'll look at today is this page title, where I'm going to hide it. So what that's going to do is, I'll just click Update now, so always update it once you've done that. Over here you can see where it says Test Page, that's the title. Now I've clicked for Hide that, and now when I refresh it, that'll have gone. So now I've got a blank page, and I've got this guy on the side here, which is part of the Thrive Leads. So I'm going to show you first how to remove that, because you might want to make pages for your students, and you don't want to have that showing on their page, because they're already a student, they don't need convincing and selling to. So this, let's just pretend this is a student page, we'll get rid of that. So there are actually a couple of ways to get rid of it, but I'll go through the Thrive Themes process. So I'll go back to Edit Page, and on the side down here you can see it says Thrive Leads, and can you guys see that okay?
Yep.
Yep, okay, good. So I'm going to click on there where it says Dashboard, Thrive Leads Dashboard, and then that'll take me into the actual area where the Thrive leads are, and it gives me reports here as well. This is just the top is just today's summary, and the bottom here is overall looking at how many impressions you've had, your conversion rate for your ad, etc. So what I'm going to do here is you've got on the right hand side here, you've got different settings, but obviously that one's will delete the whole thing. This is a group, by the way. It's a group of ads, and this is what they call lead groups, and this is what we're primarily using, or this is the only thing we're using at the moment. So the lead groups, clicking here, opens up all the different types of ads that you can run. So you can run a ribbon ad, a lightbox ad, a widget ad, etc. So to understand what those different ads are, just play with them. Just get in there and have a feel of them. But for an example, just so you understand, a ribbon ad is one that drops down from the top. It's when you see that section along the top that just sort of drops down and says it's quite thin. It's usually like a centimeter. That's a ribbon, just as an example. A lightbox is the one that just suddenly appears on your screen when you go to a website. And a widget is the one that we're using now. That's the one on the side. The other ones you can have a look at later, but I just want to give you a quick idea. So here on this widget here, to edit the widget, the one that we've got there, if you do want to edit that for some reason, so you might want to put a different picture, different text, whatever, then what you do is you click on the edit and go into it, and it'll actually show you the ad. It seems to be a bit slow to load as well, so I'll come back to that in a second. But what we're going to do, like I said, is get rid of this ad appearing on the side, because even though we're going to edit that ad, it doesn't remove it by this process. So even though I can edit the design here, and that's that blue pencil there, by clicking on that, that'll take me to a copy of the ad and that side widget bar ad, and which I can then change and manipulate. But what I'll do now, just because it's a bit slow, is in this section here where you see the gear, if you click on the gear, it actually takes you into which pages that it will appear on. So this section down the bottom here, which is called exclusions, if you click on that there, you can see you've got along the top here different types of headings, categories, posts, pages. So you can decide, but let's just stick with pages for now to keep it simple. And you can see that in the pages there, it's got test page. Now by ticking test page, under exclusions, it means it won't show on that page. So I can pick all of those, whatever I want not to show, and it won't appear on that page. So you might not want it to appear on the shop page as well. So I'm going to tick that as well, because it's probably good not to have it there. And also for the thank you for enrolling with G4 Guitar. That you're using these anymore, but I'll just do it anyway. Okay. Right. All making sense, guys?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, excellent. So now if I go back to the page and refresh that, you'll see that that sidebar, the widget, it'll have disappeared. So now I've got nothing on that page. So what we want to do now is build out the page. Now, if I go up here to edit Thrive Themes, there's two ways to play with the page. One is to go to the back side of it, which is in here, where we go to the page itself and we edit it, and we can do that here too. We can just go to edit page, and that's that there, and that's what when you think of normal WordPress pages and websites, that's where most people work from. What the Thrive Content Builder is it makes it easy for you, for the person who doesn't have a lot of experience, especially with code or the different elements of building a web page. So it just takes a second to load it, but what's going to happen is that we're just going to be able to drag and drop elements into the page and to help us build it out. Alright, now you can see that on the side here we've got all these elements that we can add to the page. And I did this in the other video, so I won't waste too much time here on these first few things, but you just got here, you can put a paragraph of text, whatever you want it to say, welcome, that can be whatever you like. You can change the size of the font to whatever size you want. So if I want to take it up to 35, there, if I want to center it, all the usual things, change the color, etc., etc. So that's there. Now, with this, if you want to copy that and make a second line of that, you can just click the green on the left there, and it'll copy it, and then you can change that text. You know, welcome to, you know, Stockport. So that's that. And again, you can change whatever elements you like in there. There's an image. There's a button. You can add icons, credit card icons. And then you've also got things like custom HTML, which is for certain things. And then, yeah, you've really got a whole bunch of things here that you can just choose from. So let's go down to that pricing table. And then if you guys have got any other ideas of things you want to see on this page, let me know. But the pricing table here, if I click on there, you can see that I can choose how many columns. So let's just go for a 3-column pricing table. So it looks really good. You can have you can have what you want in here. Call it your different things: bronze, silver, gold, and have your different prices. And each of these little parts in here is an element. You see, just hover over it. And so if you want to get rid of something, you say you don't want that there. You just hit the red cross, the white cross on the red. All good?
Mm-hmm.
And where you got the add to cart there, just click on that, and what you'll do is you'll grab your email PayPal link, and you'll go to link settings, and you'll put in here, you know, let's say it's your subscription, your £59 subscription, subscribe. You know, you can even put in your £59 there, and then whatever your URL is you put in there, you can have it open to a new window, and then when people click on that, they'll actually go to your PayPal subscription button. So very easy. So are there any things that you can think of, features or elements?
No, so ask about. You go first, Ben.
Just what I like about it, David, is you can customize it personally. I like the idea of it being so simple that everyone can get a uniform website across the entire network. So I think that's, as it grows, I think that's really important, rather than us going to, you know, let's say to, I don't know, to Bondi or to Burbank or to, you know, to Stockport or to St Albans and getting a different website. We can customize it slightly, but I like the idea that it's uniform. It'll be a standard template, a standard look, which I think is important to customers.
Exactly, sticking with that, and you know that font is called Lato. And you know, if we all stick to that font and we're using these elements, then yeah, we're going to get that same look. And I think adding some elements, some personal elements, like it would be, I think would be really nice if we kind of kept most things the same, but if you had a few photos and maybe a video of you, you, it makes it more personal.
Definitely.
So yeah, I totally agree. So Ben Al-Qaidi, did you have a?
Yeah, I was just going to say, it seems to automatically be highlighting the middle of the pricing ranges there. Is that something you can change? I think that's probably what we'd want to do anyway, isn't it? But
yeah, that's a good question. Let me have a look.
I also noticed gold is shorter because you took out that 5 GB of storage line.
Yeah, so if I take out a line, but if I take out the same on all of them, it'll bring it back into.
But if one, for example, gold's likely to have more bullet points, is it possible to make them the same size but with more text in? Maybe we're adding a line of blank text or something?
Yeah, you probably could. What you might be able to do, let me have a look there. Yeah, because adding bullet points, see, it adds 2 bullet points at a time. That's something that I've noticed before.
That's quite odd.
Yeah, and putting the ticks, it's not sort of giving you, one after that. Hang on, just let me try this. Let's see if that works. There's always a way. I know that these guys think of everything. So you just go in there
Press
and then
return game.
Return it, and that gives you your next one, and you get rid of these, and then if you want it to be uniformed, obviously there's, the first thing I would think of is that you've got also crossed and ticks. So you could have, if you want that kind of uniform look, you could have across the board that everything has the same, but some have crosses and some have ticks. If you know what I mean.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So that could work. Yeah. So another thing. Let's just have a look at some of the other elements. Like, for example, for a Google map, and this is something that we've already done on your websites, but for some of you who
That's something I was going to ask. I need to change my map.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at that, right? So if we go to Google Maps, and what we need to do is just get the embed code, and I'll put in I don't know. Put in address. Hang on 1 second. Just trying to remember. Just an address of a place I lived as a kid. Right, so I've got this address, and so what I can do under the menu here is come down and click on where is it? Share and embed. Share or embed. And then what it does is it gives me a couple of things here. What I want is the embed code. So I will grab that, and then I'll go back to our test page, to our embed Google Map, and just take out that, paste it in there, and it should give me the map. There we go.
Yeah, easy enough, isn't it?
Very easy, yeah.
Well,
so this is what's great about it. And see, the other thing you can do here is if you want to move elements around, if you want to take that up, and I just got to grab it properly. That one doesn't seem to be. Maybe I can do this one. Yep. So I can move this down. Just got to get enough space in there. But yeah, I can move that down below it. It's just a bit tricky because these are big elements. There we go. So yeah, so I can move the map up. Okay, so yeah, anything else you can think of?
And then just to edit that, you'd click on it and click in the top right, would you? Or,
To edit the map, you mean?
yeah, because mine's already there. I just need to change the code.
Yeah, well, you can, I think what you can do with it,
I'll probably just get rid of it and put a new one in.
yeah, I think that's how it works actually, because nothing appears. I think you just got to get rid of it and add it in.
It's such a short process, that makes more sense anyway.
Yeah, it's not something it needs, yeah. So, and, okay, so, yeah, and feel free to jump in any time, but something else here is testimonials. So if you want to add a testimonial in here, yeah, just post whatever your student says in there, and then, you know, put their name, and you can add their photo there, get a photo of them, which always looks really good. So just things like that, which give it more credibility. And there's a whole bunch of them. You can choose from different types. So if you want like that, etc., etc. The where are we here? Okay, so if you want, say, columns, you can do a whole different choice of columns there, where you can divide it into whatever you want, and that makes it easy for having a column here and a column here. It's all pretty logical. Like, you know, there's nothing really. This one is a pricing table, so there's another way of doing it like that. If you just want a single table, or you know, they've got a 2-column table there, 3-column. Let's go through these to see what we end up with. Yeah. So these, keep in mind, Ben, as well, that these are designed based on what they think their studies show that work. So having that 3 and the one highlighted in the middle, and then the 4th one here, and etc. seems to be the way to go. There might be a way that you can actually change the background color as well, and even just move the highlighted column. I won't go into it now because it'll probably waste a bit of time, but there might be ways to do that where you can actually adjust well, I can see here, so you can adjust the color of each section. So just go into it and hit the palette. Main, column divider, title, shadow.
Were you right-clicking to get that up, David?
No, all left clicking. Yeah, it's all
Okay.
coming up. The shadow. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be changing, but there's something more to be done. But yeah, it looks
There's
like
that
you
left and right at the top as well, so you can move it to a different column.
can. Yeah, that might be. Yes, there you go. Excellent. Well spotted. So yeah, you can move to
Slides you
very
along.
easy. So yeah, they have thought of everything. I have to say. It's just a
Pretty
matter of
good.
time. Yeah. This has been what this is amongst the online marketers. This is like heaven. They've been waiting for this because it's just really solved. There's been different programs that have done bits and pieces and plugins, but yeah.
What's amazing, David, what always makes me smile is I did my degree in IT. It didn't go too in depth into the programming. The modules were there, but I chose not to. I sort of stayed down the middle path, and it was amazing how the one thing that hasn't changed throughout the last 30 years is the marketing.
Yes.
All that's happened now is that the marketers, with the guys with the ideas, don't need the computer guys as much as they used to bring the ideas to fruition. You can do it yourself.
Exactly. The future is or the present really, and Steve Jobs predicted it. It belongs to the creatives. It really is, because we're getting the tools that we need. We don't need and everyone's looking for that kind of just give me the tools that let me do what I want. It's like the musician, with things like Logic and different software platforms. When I started on those platforms, when they came out very early, I got Logic when it was called Creator, way back, and you ended up took you totally away from your music. You ended up spending all this time working on the technical stuff, trying to get everything to work. But nowadays it just works, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
Or crashes.
What's that?
No middle ground. Works or crashes.
Yeah, it very rarely crashes, thanks to my Apple, but yeah, it still does occasionally. It's still things
When
lock
I'm
up.
recording more than 5 instruments is when it starts saying, nope, too much for me.
Too much going on here, too much information. Yeah, definitely, it's still not there yet, but it'll get there, I'm sure. All right, so that sort of gives you the idea of all those kind of elements that you can add to creating your page, and that's all up to you.
You're scrolling through the stuff on the right quite quickly, David. Were standard things like video and share buttons all in there?
Yeah, let's have a look at that.
I can see the social share buttons now.
Yeah, so for instance, if we let's just go through it. I'll put the elements, and I'll just remove this here, and I'll just go and throw in some more elements, and we'll see what happens. So let's have a look at the column layout. We've done. The contact box will just be one box. Symbol box. All right, so you can put something in there. You can add an icon there, and there is an add-on for icons where you can import a whole bunch of icons in, and I did that on my other site, so I'm not sure where that is, but if you look it up, icons for Thrive themes, it'll tell you there is an actual import, and you import it like a plugin, I'm pretty sure, and then once you hit this icon, you'll be able to access a whole bunch of icons. Okay, and then you've got number boxes. That's great. And this might be, just an example. You might have that there with a label, and then have a video under it. And the video, for instance, is this here. This is a responsive video. So, and I did do this the other day, but I'll go to YouTube and grab a video and just show you how it goes in. I'll just find a guitar video, make it appropriate. Let's find a Guthrie video, shall we? since he's the guy of the day. Alright, so if I go and grab this video, and just for those who don't know, you can, with a video, you can go into the share elements here, and you can even choose from what point it starts. So if you just want to have a video that shows a certain section, which I think is great, you can get that embed code for that particular section, and then come back here to add video and paste it in there. And you've got all these options here where you can actually hide all the elements of the video. I did go through this in the other video I did, so I'll do it very quickly. But you can hide the control, everything, just so they stay on the page. And you can even make it autoplay. So as soon as someone lands on the page, it starts playing. Save those changes. So when we actually go to the page, here's the page, the live page, we'll be able to see that video without the elements. So people can't click off your page.
Cool.
Very handy. Right.
And with the autoplay, can you change whether it does it with volume and not, all that fancy stuff?
That's a good question. You might be able to I'm not sure. You might be able to do it within the elements, but I don't think on here. And they've actually got two.
Facebook's going through a certain kind of. Now we autoplay videos. Oh, but now it's annoying people with the music, so now we autoplay them without music. And if you hover over it, it'll play. Oh, but that's annoying people. So if we do this, and I'm just trying to work out which one, if any, we should do.
Yeah.
I've gone through a lot of different versions quickly.
Yeah. It's a good question. I guess it's just a matter of finding, what's possible. I think it's possible. It might even be possible from the video itself, like the code, the link might be able to decide.
Yeah, that might be it.
Yeah, what level? Through YouTube. YouTube's great, and if it's your video especially, you can do a lot of stuff with it. Right down to editing out gaps and all sorts of things. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll continue down some of these other elements, and what have we got here? Tab content. What's this mean? All right. Okay. Cool. So you can have the tabs like that. Just going to get rid of this for a minute. That'll make sense.
Yes, that could work for skills. If we're looking for showing videos for the different skills, that's where we might put them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. And you can do this, obviously within those boxes there's a lot you can do as well, adding links and creating a custom font, whatever that is. Yep, so there's a few different elements you can do there. Alright, so that's good. Obviously you can add more, I guess, more tabs. You can decide how many tabs you have. Where would you do that? Maybe that's in the actual... Well, the other one's a vertical tab. Okay, alright. So there must be a way to have another tab as well. I'm not sure how to do that, but anyone who's keen can work it out. We won't. And there's stuff online as well where you can find out. And if you've got a question, obviously because I'm part of their subscription, if you've got a question, just let me know and I'll send them an email and find out if we can't. We don't have the information online. Create a table, plain table. Looks like you can different types of tables here. Okay, add table, number of rows. All right, yeah. So you can set up here. Might be good for putting student practice totals for the month, publishing them online.
That sounds good.
Yeah, that'd be good.
The top three.
Top three, yeah, exactly. That's perfect for the top three.
While you're there, how easy would it be for people to, like, so you can have the junior top three, the senior top three, and then under the top three you could have a link to say, submit practice plans for this month?
Okay, so have like a form.
Yeah.
You mean? Yeah. I just see a form here somewhere. Where are we? Yeah, you should be able to add a form. Did I see it? Content templates, content box symbols, social.
The stuff on the right is happening quite fast. Is this all the standard menu you're scrolling through, or is this within tables we see this?
On the right hand side, yeah, I'm just scrolling.
All the standards.
Yeah. So these are all the elements of it. I thought I saw something about a form, but probably what you're going to have to do is go back to the Thrive leads, create a form the same as the download the G4 Guitar method, and then you have to link it to something. So if you've got a the one that I've got is linked up to obviously the Aweber that we've got, but you can link it up to any of the others. So if you've got, what's the other one? Just on my Monkey one.
Contact Monkey.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so you can use that as well. You can link it to that, and that way you just create a form, submit your practice details here, ask them for their name, and the minutes, whatever fields you want to add, and then they will submit that to you via a form.
Cool. That sounds good.
Yeah. You can even do it within WordPress. There are plugins you can use. I think even within WordPress you can have a form. I know that there's elements to do that. So yeah.
I think it is a good idea putting it on there though, because it being more publicly visible seems kind of cool.
Yeah, that's it. You can publish it here, and that way they can share it with their friends, And
if you've got the buttons, the share buttons underneath, then anytime someone notices there on the top, they can click the share button. It'll post that picture of top 3 practice times G4 Guitar Servicing to their Facebook page that says, "My son has got the top record for this month's practice titles. Hooray!"
Bang! Look, share it on Twitter to all their friends. Yeah, make it easy for them. That's exactly it. You could. Even you could put a photo there. Where we've got these, just because even though they're called this, they're not necessarily the only way to use it. But where was it? The testimonials. So you could take a testimonial from, you know what I mean, and say top practicer of the month, John Doe, and then put in here, congratulations, John, etc. Whatever you can put in the amount. And so you've got different things you can do with those boxes.
You could say a specific skill if you wanted to make it a bit personal, like really well done with the scales this month or something.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds really good. This makes the website a bit more kind of something that the students will want to go to, even if they haven't got any interested in the videos or something. They can still go and just say, "I'll put in my practice time, see how my son's doing. Oh, he's top of the board, hooray!" Share that.
Exactly. And when you put something up there, you say, "Hey, check the website tonight. I think you'll like it." And
definitely.
Getting them to go there for different reasons. Some to see their name. Sometimes it might be they might say, "Oh, with this song or that song or whatever, okay, I'll post it on the board tonight." You can have like a board. This will be your notice board, and you say to your students, "Go there and watch the video that I've put up there tonight." And it might be you, it might be someone else. Teaching them something that you want them to have a look at.
That does sound really good. Is what they call it when it's kind of just, is it IRC? That's just a standard kind of continuous chat box for anyone who wants to be there?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Kind of a mix between that and just a notice board, so you can just have, anytime anyone from a certain group wants to say something, it'll link it to that group if they want to. And then you can just say, "Here's that song we were talking about," or someone else can say, "I mentioned this song in the class."
Yeah, there's in our other one, it's Buddy. What's it called? Buddy. It's an actual plugin that you can add to it, and it's on our member site, student member site, and you can have the students come in and chat and comment via that. So have a look at that. You can bring it in to your website. I'm just trying to remember what it's called, but it's so many of them. But it's called Buddy, and it's one of those things they say with the internet, because there are so many things now. Our memories don't retain. It's probably age, but it's definitely, there are so many widgets and so many things that you can add to your website that will make it more user friendly for your students. Okay, there is, like a countdown timer there, which is good if you're having a special selling tickets to a workshop or whatever. They've got this thing called lead generation. Okay. So I wonder where this goes. So okay, here this lead generation, this might be what you're looking for, Ben. Where you could have above here, for instance, where I have. Well, let's get rid of these elements for a minute. So here you could have, submit your practice, and then you could have, I'm not sure, edit components, some text areas, text inputs. So I'd want to name it. That would be the thing, but there must be a way to name it as well. But that's, within here, you want to be able to say name and, practice time, and that way they can submit it to you through there.
Cool.
Yeah. Content toggle. What does that mean? Toggle headline. Not sure.
Is that a drop-down menu?
Right. Yeah. Yep. Widgets.
Or a drop-down table?
Yep. Yeah, that's probably right. Okay, custom. Okay, this one requires. It's got a widget setting, so obviously there are widgets that can be loaded in there as well. But I think that pretty well covers the making of the page. You guys can play around with those elements, but you can see how easy it is. Just create a page, go into the page from the front. So you're at this point, make sure you're logged in, so you get all these headers showing along the top. And if you want to go into the edit the page to get so it doesn't show the title, like I remove the title, then you need to go into there and then go into the Edit Thrive Content Builder for editing it. Now, so what I'll do, have you guys got any questions at this point? Because I'll go into the Thrive leads a bit more.
No, all looking good so far.
Yeah, I think you need to sit down and spend an afternoon with it, have a little play.
Yeah, just make up a page that you can just play with your sandbox, so to speak. All right, so in here, so again, we're in the Thrive lead section here. In this area here, these, if we have a look, for instance, at sorry, let me just divide it up into the three sections. So we've got the lead groups, the lead short codes, and these two-step light boxes. Now I haven't used the two-step light box yet, so I won't pretend I know what it is. I know what a light box is, but what a two-step light box is, I'm not sure. I just imagine it'll give you more elements, the timing, when it comes on, goes off, etc. is my guess. Now the lead short codes is you can just make whatever you like. So we'll just make here test lead page or a lead widget, we'll call it, and add shortcode. And what it'll do, it gives me that code there, so I can take that code and copy it straight into a page. And so if I go into the edit part here, and then it'll ask me to create my form. I'll call my form test form, just for the moment. And then it brings up, this is the form elements. Then I go to this edit design, and that will take me in. And what I get here, which is again fantastic, is that I get all these templates. I can just choose whichever one I want.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's just brilliant. Yeah. And so I just pick one and say, okay, let me grab this one, choose that template. It loads up the template, and then I can do what I like with it. So if I want to change that picture, change the text, etc., etc., that all becomes whatever I want it to be. So once I've got that,
good. So I was going to say, maybe it'd be good to have a quick list of all the things that we've already used in this kind of style, so that we know if you're doing this kind of thing, that's the one that fits in with everything everyone else has done. If you're doing this kind of thing, that's the one that fits in with everything.
Yeah, I think so. I think we need to really try and get these things standard. And
not uniform content, but uniform presentation.
Yeah, and I think the easiest way to do that will be to have one website that everyone refers to, so they can go, okay, well, I want to do this. Whose website should I be looking at? And
guitar lessons blank.
yeah, and it's most likely to be one of you guys who is, less likely, and it could be, it could be one of your sites, but one of you who really doesn't want to change anything, so I can do it and use that site to do these elements. Because I think coming back, for instance here, if I want to go back here, so the question here is how to change, once I've set that, how can I change it? I'm not sure on that. Switch editor, change editor. So, because this is one of those things I haven't done yet, is actually choose,
Free downloads.
go back and choose a different template. But anyway, it looks like, so I don't know what default state is. I'll click on this. No, I think add. What's add? Add a new state. What's a new state? Okay. Oh, hang on.
If you
Choose.
add another new state, maybe you can swap between them and edit those different states.
Yeah, I found what I wanted. So basically, it was to choose. I'll just show you. Click here and choose opt-in template.
Okay.
So you can go and choose here. Now the one I've been using is this shortcode set number 2. That's the one that works for me. And so here in here, I click on that, and then I've got the option over the right here to change the image, and I can either upload a file, so on the left-hand side there, or I can use a picture that's already in here as they're coming up now. So for instance, if I want to take that there, just click on it, insert it, and there I've got that there. And then change the text. Free copy, yeah, whatever. And then all the other elements you want to put in there. Now once you've got that, then you have to click on this bar here. This is really important, otherwise nothing will happen. And you have to go to connect with service. And so every time you make up one of these, you have to connect it to the service. And it'll go to here where it says step 1, choose connection type, API. And that's the type that we want. It says API or HTML. API means it's set up to Aweber, so it's like an automatic. And then from here we have to choose where it goes to. So basically we've got all these different choices. And you want to make sure you use yours, otherwise it'll go to somebody else's Aweber. Yeah. So in this case, what we want it to do is go to Ben's Stockport. There it is there. And then save it. Now, what happens here is that we are able to decide what gets displayed. So the email obviously gets displayed no matter what. But if we want to display the name, we've got the phone number in there. And I guess you can add more elements to it as well. How would you do that? There definitely must be a way. We'll have a look at that later. But down here you've got the reload current page or the redirect to a URL. So people who fill in this form, where do you want them to go? So if you've got a thank you page, if you've got something another offer, etc., that's where they do it. Hit save. Okay, these fields, I think, now that I understand, might be determined by Aweber. So it depends on what you've got in Aweber.
Would make sense, wouldn't it? that it captured that from the form you were using. That'd make sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it makes sense now. So yeah, so we'd have to create more fields on Aweber for that to know where to go. And that's how it looks like that. And again, you've got all the elements here, same as with a web page. So you can add in different elements if you wish, or remove elements. And then save that. Save all those changes. And now that's done. So I can close that window and go back to my Thrive themes here. So this is it here. I'll just go back to the dashboard so we can see it from here. But again, there's that code. So I can grab that code, I'm copying it, just hit copy, and then go to your page, like this one here, and let's just do what we can do here. Now, in this case, I mean, you're gonna add it to the back end there, which we'll have a look at in a second. But we might also be able to add it to the front end just using custom HTML. Let's just see. Just test it out and see what it comes up with. This, I've noticed this too, by the way, this insert custom HTML. Sometimes it's slow to load. So if you strike that, I don't know why, it just seems to take 10 seconds to load. Okay, so I'll put that in there. I'll just see if that works like that, or whether we need to do something different. There it is. That's the first one for some reason. That's the first one we made up. So, but that gives you the idea anyway. For some reason, remember the first one.
David, what we need to look at, what I think might be the next step from this, Ben mentioned about submitting practice times. My partner is a science teacher at high school, and they use something called Doddle.
What's it called?
Doddle, D-O-D-D-L-E. And it's an online homework tracker.
Yep.
Now it's all currently linked into the UK education system, so it's all, you know, structures of the syllabus and all that sort of stuff. But just thinking out loud, how cool would it be to have something like that, whereby kids can go on and say, I've practiced 30 minutes this week on, you know, scales, for example. I've practiced 20 minutes this week on arpeggios. We can then say in lesson, right, let's have a listen, let's see if we can get it ticked off on the checklist. And then taking it a step further, the checklist will eventually become a completely online thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And that really encourages them to learn to record themselves as well, which is obviously really useful.
Yeah. I think that's
that we're not offering online Skype lessons, but we're giving them the convenience of that with the face-to-face lessons as well. You know, you're almost best of both worlds almost.
Exactly. And of course, just a box where they can submit performances.
Yeah.
Not just checklist stuff, but things that they want to share just because they're proud.
Yeah, that's it. And you've got to integrate the technology these days, because otherwise, you know, we're all going to seem like we're dinosaurs to the kids today if you're not.
Yeah.
How easy would it be to set it up so that they can upload a file from their phone, having just recorded it, straight into our sites?
A file, like a recording of something?
Yeah, so if I used voice memos on my iPhone, recorded a riff, could I instantly upload it from my phone to my website if I found the right embed plugin thing?
Should be able to. I mean, there should be something that allows you to do that pretty easily.
I'm not sure how much the navigating around inside the phone will work to get the files to the internet, because I'm no expert. I always just use my cables to turn it into a file.
Yeah. I'm just thinking here. There's definitely going to be an audio widget of some kind, and where you can upload an audio file straight to a web page or something.
Submit it for sharing or submit it for feedback or something.
Well, the other thing is, you know, something like SoundCloud. I'm quite sure I could easily just throw that in here, have a page with a SoundCloud, account put in here. This is the other thing, is we can bring in other formats that are already well set up.
I was going to say, at the worst, we can say upload it here and then put the link here, and then you can So I imagine even if most people haven't done it yet, they know how to do a YouTube video. They go to YouTube and follow the on-screen instructions.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And if you have, it depends on what are you talking about, you putting something or your students putting something?
The students. So Ben was saying they could, for example, here's me playing a G to G scale at 60 beats per minute.
Yeah.
Can I get it ticked off now? Fantastic. Or here's something I wrote fiddling around with rhythm exercise, whatever, after this lesson.
Yeah, yeah. So I think it's just thinking of the whole picture as well. You know, getting students to play, to record, let's say, a video of themselves, because it would need to be a video. So you know it's them, not their big brother or sister. So yeah, of them doing the scale. Yeah, you could do that. It's going to be one of those things still that's going to require your time to be watching the videos. So I guess it's just a matter of how efficient it's going to be overall. Having them do it in the class still would be my preference.
Obviously, we don't have to kind of just use that as our only guide, but
yeah.
What you could do, it could be video, it could be audio. Obviously, if it's audio, you'd have to see them play it as well. But
Yeah.
putting a size limit on it would help make sure that you know it's not going to be 10 hours of video for me to scroll through. It's
Yeah.
either 30 seconds or it's maybe 2 minutes of audio.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think there's a lot of things that can be done, and I know what you're getting at. But just to me, it'd be a matter of
That's a big area to explore.
yeah, just the benefits of it, and I guess what it's more about is, are the students motivated to want to do those kind of things, and is it something that will help them and help us to make them more to learn more, to want to learn more, to want to do things, because there is the novelty factor as well. If they know that they can record themselves on video, and I'm all for things like video diaries where they record themselves maybe once a month just so they can see their own progress. I think that's a good thing to do, and
That is a huge tool.
yeah, just something where you don't want to be checking, yeah, like you say, hours and hours of video every week that your students are uploading. You want to be able to do these things fairly quickly, see where they're at. Obviously help them, but do it in a group scenario where you can sort of see them all together, and yeah.
Depending on how we present it, they might not even expect us to watch it. They might just think, here's a good place where I can share my thing. I saw someone else playing the scale in a way, like they had that really cool technique there, and I didn't think about that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I could think.
Yeah, there's some good options, and as long as the way that I see it, as long as we keep working towards improving, that what we do is bring something better, and improving the experience. My goal right from the beginning, I think you guys are fairly clear on it, but with G4, my goal was simple. I want to be able to get a beginner to that level of confidence in a shorter period of time without compromising. So I want the quality and the speed. So where it would take students normally, say, 2 years to learn guitar, I want to get them to that point in 1 year, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's, I mean, it is, I know, I did it, and you guys are doing it. We know it's possible with students who are well organized, they're practicing the right things. It's all about the 80-20. Keep getting them to the right things, help them to progress faster, and then their confidence will build, and they're more likely to stick with the instrument. What I found, and this was my motivator, was it was the students who weren't making progress that usually quit because they thought they just weren't going anywhere, and what's the point? So you've got to get these, and this again is proven in many areas, and that is you've got to get these early wins. Students have to be making reasonable progress and be feeling good about their progress in that first period. And if it drags on too long, or they're practicing the wrong things, or they're skipping from one thing to another, that's when they lose confidence. And it is all about the confidence. We want to keep them confident so they keep learning and keep moving ahead, and then get to that point. We all know that point. I think all of us have been at that point where it's you're never going to give up. The guitar is never going to be given up. For some of us, maybe that was from day one. But for others, there were definitely points. I know for me and my early years of learning where I was like thinking, oh, am I really meant to do this? You know, because especially I was playing drums and guitar, so I was, you know, often thinking maybe I should just stick to the drums. Especially in that first year, it was just not happening. I just wasn't sounding anywhere near what I wanted to sound like. So yeah, so that's really where I'm coming from. All right, we'll wrap it up there if that's
Cool.
good with you guys.
Cool. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you next week.
See you next time,
Yeah.
guys.
Bye.